Okay, what's up, everybody? First day of the combine today, right? Today is the first day of the combine for me. I'm a little nervous, have to admit, but there's really nothing to be nervous about. We're just going to perform the same way that we've been performing in the past four competitions, right? The only difference now is that in this situation, we have a target of $3,000. We can't hit 50% of that target in one day, in any one day, right? So we can't have a more than a $1,500 day. Prices breaking out to the upside now on the NASDAQ, and having the discipline to wait for 9:30, not go outside of the strategy, but yet at the same time, you want to use your instincts. Don't disregard your instincts on 3-hour chart, just starting to break above previous high here. We've got the 5-minute chart up here. Let me go out to the 15. We didn't have all of our components met yesterday, and the trade ended up working out, but there have been plenty of times when you don't have all the components met and it kind of goes sideways, or it breaks to the upside, then immediately breaks to the downside, and you get this whipsaw. So those components of trend and momentum are in place for a reason, and we've seen it work over and over again. Now, here's some good news about the competition. I put all of my data from the competition into ChatGPT, and it said that I had a 77% win rate. And that was really good news. That was some really good news. 77% for the month. That's including all the times we gave back. It would probably be higher if we just stuck to the strategy, or if I just stuck to the strategy. And so that's what we're going to do, obviously, for the combine here. And we're going to take our time with it. I think that's what Topstep wants to see. They want to see, are you following a strategy, or are you just getting lucky? You want somebody that is following an actual strategy. So I totally understand that. And that means, hey, let's trade the micros, right? So I've got the micro NQ up here, and we're on the U contract, MNQ U25, looking at the same contract here on TradingView. Okay, opening range is forming here. We've got very nice readings pre-market, right? Very strong momentum pre-market 3-hour chart. Very strong momentum pre-market 1-hour chart. Above positive 100 on the 3-hour, and there you go, above positive 200 on the 1-hour. Early in the uptrend on the 1-hour. We've recalculated on the 3-hour chart. So this here on the 3-hour chart's a fresh new trend. These are very good readings for an upward breakout. These are very good readings for an upward breakout. I wish I was in this already, right? Pre-market. I wasn't sure what to do there. I was like, maybe I should, just kind of jump in here. I was right around here looking at this, right around 8 or so. But, that's what my instincts were telling me. And now we have, this is actually really good. Here's the high. Here's the all-time high right here, this blue line that I drew. And we weren't really, you see this rejection candle that we got off of it? So I'm like, I got a rejection off of that. Maybe we're going to have, a deep pullback. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. It would have been a little bit of a gamble. That's when it's a gamble. That's when it's a gamble. And we try not to do that. So now we see we've got a break above, close above. This candle here looks like it's going to close above. Very bullish candle, right? Forming the opening range. This is what we look for, isn't it? We look for very strong market readings, right? Before the open, right? Pre-market. Strong momentum and trend, like across the board, pre-market. We got the hook up on K too, on the 3-hour chart. We're in full impulse mode on the 1-hour chart. These are very good readings, guys. And that extra bonus component is the opening range forms on a bullish candle. That's the bonus component, right? We've got everything. We've got everything going for us. So do we wait for the 5-minute candle to close above the opening range as well? How much more bonus material do we need to take this trade? I think I'm going to try to get in and mitigate risk 5 contracts on the NASDAQ, the micro NASDAQ. That's what I'm allowed to trade. And we're going to max out on contracts. I do have a $500 stop loss. That's a bit high. I was talking about that with Kazi the other day. That kind of means the difference between the competition, the evaluation here at Topstep, they're only allowing us a $2,000 drawdown until you complete the goal of 3,000. So that means you only get 4 shots at this. I think that's pretty decent. We were taking $1,000 risks, right? We were using 1% of $100,000 in the competition. We ended up with 8%, right? That was an 8% ROI. We want to really maximize that. We've got a system here that's quite accurate, 70% accurate. And that makes sense. When I ran the numbers, I had a 77% win rate, 77% win rate. Pretty darn good. And that's, I mean, again, if I think it would have been higher if I just stuck to the opening range strategy there. So very good numbers here. Very good numbers. Extremely bullish candle. I mean, it's 936 for crying out loud. Look at this thing. I mean, is it just going to keep going up? This is really something. Let's drop down to the 5-minute. Okay, getting a better understanding, right? We came up here and now we're kind of hovering around. You've got a rally-based rally right here on the 5-minute. We can box that out. If we get a pullback, right? This is actually, I mean, right here, this is a fresh trend on the 5-minute as well. As of right now, right where this line is, that's the bottom, right? Bottom of the opening range there, right? So far, the opening range is, oh, look at that. All right, let's get rid of this blue line that I drew. All right, there's the, what is that red line? What is that red line? What are they trying to tell us here? Open this up. Oh, that must be like previous month or something. Holy cow. What is that red line? Previous month's high. That is the previous month's high right there. That's a good sign, guys. This is a good sign that this is really wanting to fight, you know, for a new high. And today is the day, right? We are above previous month's high there. So as of right now, that right there is the low. Let's go draw that out on Topstep here. 15-minute chart. Let's see. Do we have the magnet? Yes, we do have the magnet. Okay, 15-minute chart. Do like that. There we go. Getting a bit of a pullback here. Interesting. So far, very bearish candle now at this point on the NASDAQ. 15-minute. Go back to the 5. Pulling back into that rally-based rally. Previous month's high right there. Very strong conditions to the upside. I'm wondering if we should take that to mitigate 941. Interesting. 5-minute chart right here. Let's see, buy 5. Order filled. Right there. Gonna go for that. We have very strong readings, guys, on that opening range there. 5-minute chart. And we've got this right here as well, pulling back a little bit more. And we're going to take these two right here. $400 risk there. Very strong readings. We've got to see if those smaller zones hold because of such strong readings here. We don't want that to break above. Look at that. We got that $500 target already at the very top of the opening range. We could close out with that. That would be very nice. So mitigating risk here within that opening range and just trusting in the process here. Quite nerve-wracking. Jumping the gun a little bit, but with all that upward movement, I'm going to bring this down here. And we could get out right here, you know, right at the top of the opening range, or we can start scaling out, taking targets. We don't know how high this is going to go. We can even take targets inside of the opening range here. But little 5-minute zone seems to be working. Got another minute. We really want to see a nice close there above that entry. We took a chance on that entry. Hey. First trade on Topstep. Yes, Kazi. I'm a nervous wreck over here. Want to start to, you know, scale out of this. Where's 1500? That's quite high, right? But we don't know where this is going to go. We don't know where this is going to go to. So why don't we start to scale, right? Maybe we can take out 3. We're going to hold on to 2. right? And then we'll hold on to 2 contracts. We should have a really, I mean, we should have a pretty big day. Let me see here. Where are we? Where is ADR is, let's see, why don't we shoot for 23 1 there. Well, 1500 is right here, but we're going to have less contracts. We don't want to break below opening range at all, right? We want to have a nice strong move out on the opening range, and we want to really want to maximize. Oh, look at that. Look how it erased my order there. That's interesting. That's interesting. That has erased my order. I wonder what that's all about. All right, so we're mitigating risk here. It shouldn't. Yeah, that's strange. Okay, that's strange. So to mitigate risk here, right? Put it below at this point. We want to put it below opening range. Start taking some targets. You have to sell, not buy. Yep. That's what did, right? Let's take a target and just see here, right? Sell limit. Let's sell 2. Right, keep it right there. Sell limit, or should that be a? Oh, really? I did? Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness me. Okay. Right, we'll sell 2. I mean, if this is going to close over the top, we don't want this to reverse on us. We don't want this to reverse on us here. Might as well get risk free now. I don't know. We don't want to lose anything, right? We have to kind of get risk free and hope for the best. We got to hope for the best here. Here we go. Here we go. Right? We should have a nice move out breakout, right? I mean, this thing breaks out to the upside. We want to carry that as far as possible there. I'm being very cautious here, 950, we want to see a nice 5-minute candle break above, close above here, see what happens here. Want to have a really nice move today. I think that's a pretty conservative move, right? Take off 2 contracts. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. Look at that. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Took some profit there. Looks like we're going to have a big day. Let's take a look here. Very nice. We need to see that candle close. We got 2 minutes left. Very nice breakout there. We're in a risk-free trade. I really want that candle to break and close above the opening range. See, I was confident with that because okay, so we banked 8. Okay, so we banked $200. Let's start looking for some structure here on the 15-minute. So that little gamble worked on that 5-minute rally base rally. But we really need to see this candle close above the opening range. We need to see that candle close above the opening range. It shows the numbers at the top as well. You cannot buy more than 5 contracts. So it went right. Yes. It shows the numbers at the top as well. I don't see it. Oh, up here. Oh, okay. There we go. Very nice. Thanks, Kazi. Okay, 1 minute left. Candle is looking good, guys. Candle is looking good. Took off 2 contracts, and we want to scale out of this position. Let's take a look on here. Okay, second wave forming. Very nice candle here. I think we have a good shot at ADR today. Really want that candle to close. 6 seconds left. Looks like it's going to close. 4, 3, 2. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. We got the hook up on the 3-hour. Looking good. Broke above all-time high. Risk-free trade right now. Couldn't ask for better. Couldn't ask for better here. Again, ADR 23 130. Okay. Nice target. Rah, rah, rah. Oh, okay, so we should be okay. That's 13. We'll be under 1500 if we take that, today, if it reaches ADR. And I think what I'll do is, to maximize the run, to maximize this run all the way to ADR, perhaps I'll place those targets underneath the candles, I can place stop limit orders, right, underneath these 5-minute candles or wherever I see fit. Kind of alleviates a lot of the stress, or the anxiety when you're in a risk-free trade. Very nice. Very nice. Very, very, very happy about that. We read we read the pre-market, right? When we were over here reading pre-market components, 3-hour chart was above 100 on CCI. 1-hour chart was above 200 on CCI, in an uptrend, cycling up, right? We even got a partial, we got the percent K pre-market, right? And then we saw a very bullish candle forming on the opening range. That was the bonus component that we look for. And now we have the 5-minute breakout candle. That's the second bonus component. So I said, okay, well, let's jump in a little early here. And around 8:30, my instincts were telling me, man, let's start getting in now. But of course, we weren't, we had conditions were met. We just didn't have the opening range formed, right? So we really would have been jumping the gun here, would have given us a better fill, but that is, that's a little outside the strategy. We need the opening range to give us the actual area that we're going to take. So there we go. Very first day of the combine, sticking with the strategy. We left it alone yesterday. Oh my God, guys, look at this. Wow. Some really strong action here, guys. This is very, very strong action. Wow, this is exciting. This is pretty exciting. Look at that. Look at the move firing off here. Really want to hang in. And now that's ADR. That's the full ADR right there. 98.41. Oh, let's say 1500 minus 198.41. So 1300, right? We are right there, 1301. Wow, guys, this is pretty solid here. I really want to give this thing room to run. It's forming a rally-based rally here. Let me take a look at some. Let's put some Fibonacci. Which one should we use here? Maybe from the 1-hour chart, Fibonacci extension lines. Get out of my way. Fibonacci extension lines. Swing low, swing high, back down. Okay, so we're coming up on that 1-1. Right around there. Maybe we can trail this by 2 contracts right underneath the 1-hour, right underneath the 1-hour. Oh, that's kind of right at the very beginning there, right around there. It's close to ADR anyway, right around here. That's and remember the strongest moves, the strongest breakouts never retest. Strongest breakouts never retest and go right to, and that's ADR right there. Wouldn't want to take more than, we're at the 141 seconds left. Let's let this, that's an incredibly long 5-minute candle. Look at that. We'll let that close above. Hopefully it closes above the 141. That'd be a very good sign that it's going to go to the next. And then we can trail or take one off here. Wow. Would that be a sell stop? We got there. 23.31. 23.31. Yeah, 23.032. 23.032. Okay, there's the 141. And it may come back and hit that. That's okay. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we keep going. But I think that's a nice trailing stop right there at that fib level. See, there's the reason why I'm using those Fibonacci extension levels is because there's no structure. We're in all-time highs. So we need something to go on. And that's when those fib extensions become quite useful. And we want to capture, a lot of this move. Very, very strong readings here, guys. This is incredibly strong, right at ADR there. We don't know what's going to happen, so we must play very defensively, right? Place that final stop right underneath the rally-based rally. I think that's appropriate. And we've got this candle here. We've got this target here right at that Fibonacci 141, just trailing it. I'm gonna just trail those 5-minute candles. Let's get another rally-based rally out of this. You can only take what the market gives you, you know. You can only take what the market gives you. Follow solid strategy that you have data on. Couldn't ask for a better day. Couldn't ask for a better first day. On July 1st, we had that we had the Dow trade that, oh my God, I was so disappointed that I wasn't involved with that, but I didn't have everything set up yet. And, so, well, we're having a very nice first day here, guys. Very nice. Very nice. Looked at pre-market, was looking very good. And we had all of our bonus components even firing off. My goodness. Nice candle. Very nice. Nice bullish candle again. Nice bullish candle again. And we are heading for DR. Heading for ADR. Also, 618, 23096. Okay? 23096. 23132. 23132. Right? 23. $23, 132. Then 296 is the 618. Perhaps it starts to kind of, I mean, this has been really firing off very, very strong. I think that was the correct way to apply. I think that was the correct way to apply those fib levels, right? Fib extension, use the 1 hour, being that it's from here to here. I think that's good. So I think this is right. I think I agree. You guys agree with this? You know, I mean, being that we've got all of this momentum and trend, and we have like the perfect storm of conditions to go long, keeping the full amount below this rally-based rally in case there is, right? Because we don't want to give all this up. We don't want to give up all that ground, but is it going to retest? I don't think so. I think it's possible to get some sort of a pullback, even to like a shallow pullback to here with all that. But we don't know what's going to happen, but I'm saying in general, like we need to give this thing as much as it's going to go to reach these levels because we have, we have it in the cards to do that. So if it pulls back, it takes out 2 contracts, and then we'll have 1 contract left, in which case we'll have to erase that and just trail it. Come on, rally-based rally. Rally-based rally me. See what we get here, guys. Let's see what we get. Could get a pullback, right? This is a fib level, extended Fibonacci extension level. Could retest that area. That's okay. Let's capture the profit because we don't know what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. We just want to have enough in the tank to let this thing run as far as it's going to go. And that's what we're able to do. 5 contracts, you can do a lot. You can do a lot of capturing. You can do a lot of capturing with 5 contracts. Got in early so we got in early, right? We got in. Look where we got in. Beautiful. We took that 5-minute rally-based rally right here. Boom. Beautiful. We were quick on the draw, fast enough on the draw to be able to capture that. I really want this thing to just go right to the target, right? And Sarah and Phyllis are always like, just do it already. Oh man, can't complain. Can't complain about any of that. Right? I think that's the proper setup. I think that's the proper setup there. Nice. Stay in there. I'm just below that 5-minute candle there. Stay in. Nice. You know, when you've got those conditions met, super powerful. Beautiful. Hey, we survived it. Looks like we survived that pullback. And we're heading for that 618. Come on, let's hit that 618. Beautiful. Come on. We are starting to show a cycle down on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so we're due for a correction. We're due for some sort of corrective move here. Now, on your cycle indicator, when you've got a really strong trend like we're looking at right now, what you'll see the cycle indicator do, even though it's starting to cycle down, it'll go like this, guys. It'll go pop, 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 back and forth, these short little chops back and forth above here, okay? It will like this. See this here? It'll come up here and just go pop, 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 pop. And you'll have these little %K crossovers, right at the top, and then the move down. And you can see what that did, or how that corresponds here. So you see this upward move that took place? It was just up, 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 right? You started to get some little crossovers, and it just kind of went up and sideways, and then continued the move up here. So remember, your cycle indicator doesn't necessarily mean trend reversal. Doesn't mean trend reversal. It just means correction, right? We're correcting, and that correction could be, it could correct very slightly, very shallow, very shallow corrective move. Here we go. We're getting another big push up here now. Whoa, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Look how we're just underneath that candle. I agree with that. Let's leave it there. We'll take one off at, maybe we should take two off. Maybe we should switch that, right? Whatever. Let's leave it. Leave it just like that. Can't go too crazy. Shooting for that 618 extension level, the golden ratio. Going for that golden ratio. 20 golden ratio area, right? This area. And that is super close. That's so close to the ADR. That is so close. See, here we go. See, check that. Look at that. Look at that cycle indicator now. Look at that cycle indicator. Just sort of looks like that's what it's going to do for us, guys. That's what it's going to do for us. Very strong readings across the board here. And I think that's going to be probably one of the most valuable pieces of information you can get before a trade setup are some kind of components that need to be met before the trade even sets up, right? That's why the opening range really gives us the best of both worlds, because it gives us a very objective place and time, right? What time? Well, 9:45. That's when it forms. Where are we going to take the trade? Well, it's going to break above the opening range, so it's going to be right here. And if you want to get in early, that's going to be right here. We found that little demand zone, that 5-minute demand zone. So it really helps us with a general area that we need to be at a certain period of time. That's everything, guys, because other than that, it's basically quite random, I don't really like using the word random because you can see, if you look at even on the 3-hour chart, or you just, put TrendCloud on any time frame, this is not random, right? I mean, this is quite, impulse up, correction into TrendCloud, impulse up, correction into TrendCloud. That's not random. It's the how and it's the when that's really the question. Like, we never know how deep the pullback is going to be. We don't know how deep the pullback's going to be. We don't know when that's going to take place. We don't know if whipsaw is going to, show up uninvited. These are all our friends, right? That we have. So I think this is quite a very nice scaling out process here. Let's continue to survive this and make our way up to that 6-1 retracement level, extension level, right? 1.618 extension level, and capture the most of this move. So far, we've been 100% correct, right? For now, right? As of right now, everything we saw and we put into place is working the way we want it to. And that's great. You never know for how long. And you have to be humble about that. You've got to, because otherwise you'll take maybe you take 3 wins in a row, and that's when your brain starts to play tricks on you and become euphoric, and especially as a beginner. And then it says, throw it all in there, Chris. Come on. It's a great idea. It's not. You have to say, hey, man, calm down. We don't know what's going to happen here. So we're going to trade defensively, get risk-free, and we're going to just take what the market gives us, right? We're just going to take what the market gives us and be happy that we were able to see that coming and that we learned a really cool strategy, and we've got data that's backing up this strategy, and that's all you can ask for, right? So we'll see if this plays out, and it'll really put us ahead. And this is kind of a competition too. I like to call it a competition. We're in a Topstep competition right now to become a funded trader, and that's what we are competing for. And there's probably even more people, right? That's why it's so good. I think that was such a good phase of development to bring people into trading in the Leap day trading competition. I thought that was I'm really glad that they started doing that, because it puts you under a little bit of pressure. There's even anxiety just entering, right? It's like, oh my God, am I entering a competition right now? I don't, if you guys know, but I've been in martial arts and mixed martial arts and stuff for years. I think I started when I was 17, and I joined my first Taekwondo school. And then from there, I took a judo class, and this guy that I met there was like just wiping the mat with me. And I'm like, that's not judo. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And I was like, well, where do I learn that? I want to learn that, what you're doing right now. And so that's when I found Matt Sarah out here in East Meadow, Long Island. And we used to go take the train into the city and go train with Henzo Gracie. And he's just on a whole other, in a whole other universe, right? But going into your first martial art class is petrifying, or stepping into the boxing ring for the first time just to train by yourself. Step through those ropes in the boxing ring with nobody else there. It's nerve-wracking. And then, now somebody else steps in there. Imagine what that feels like, sparring with someone for the first time, and, you have equipment on and stuff. I wasn't that crazy hardcore, loved it, but I wasn't, I didn't get bashed in the face or anything like that. And then I started getting into like the conditioning aspect of it. Like I love plyometrics and just getting into the conditioning, mixed martial arts conditioning. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't get boring, but my point is, stepping into the boxing ring for the first time, you're like, oh my God, am I really, who's looking at me? Are someone going to challenge me? It's like, what's going on here? So going into a day trading competition, it's the same thing, and it's good for your brain. It's good to do hard things, right? It's good to do hard things. And you can test yourself, like when your alarm clock goes off or something, like shut the alarm clock off and just like get out of bed. Like train your brain to do that. Do hard things. Do hard things. Do stuff that is scary, and safe. I'm not saying go skydiving, or anything like that. Let's start with, getting up when the alarm clock rings. Let's start with that. And then you can go walk into a boxing ring. But yeah, so doing the day trading competition, very good stuff. Very good for your brain to be conditioned to handle stress, to handle pressure, to handle tough stuff, and that's it. And those of you who have kids, I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys know, first time you get a kid in your hands, I don't have kids, but I can imagine the first time you have a kid and you're like, oh my God, I'm responsible for this thing. Can only imagine what that's like. So you guys know what I'm talking about. So look at this. So we've got some, little back, here we go. I think this is going to be a rally-based rally into a rally-based rally here. It shows your numbers on top. Oh, wait. What do you do with this thing? Yes, Kazi. I know. Kazi, your kid is what, 5? How old is he? I remember he jumped in the live stream that day. But yeah. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I'm responsible for this thing. Yeah, 5. Yeah. All right, man. That's exciting stuff. So, okay. So we're just reading price action here, and we're checking it out, right? I think we're in a nice position there. It pulls back, take out 2 contracts, allow the retest to take place as long as it doesn't go too deep. We don't know. Maybe I should put everything right here and just get out. With the amount of strength and momentum and trend, it's more like, hey, let's hang in there as much as we can so that we could hit this. If we didn't have strong readings, right? We've all felt that before. We've all seen that day where it's like, oh man, like the trend is extended. Probably going to get a deep pullback. We don't know when. Yeah, let's 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 bring everything up here. But because we've got such strong momentum and trend, I'm saying, yeah, you know what? Let's hang in there for ADR. Let's hang in there for ADR. And it's always that back and forth question that you go through. Should I take the money on the table right now or let it ride? And well, that's a very complicated question because you've got to see those higher time frames to really make your assessment here. 5-minute chart, early in the trend. How about the 15-minute chart? 15-minute chart, early in the trend. Okay. 1-hour chart, early in the trend. 3-hour chart, early in the trend. That's, I do, ever since Phyllis pointed out the 30-minute chart, I do look at the 30-minute, and the 30-minute is starting to form that fifth wave, right? It is starting to, but that's such a strong move. But you can see here, and it made a very strange trend. Look at this trend here. These are, I mean, it did calculate the numbers. It did calculate the numbers, but this right here, it's kind of a weird three waves, isn't it? It's like one, it's kind of a strange looking sideways trend there. So I wouldn't take too much. I wouldn't put too much I wouldn't give this too much weight. I wouldn't give that too much weight. This looks beautiful, right? 1, 2, right? Correction into trend cloud. Boom. Strong impulse up. Beautiful, right? Just beautiful. You got to take the risk. You got to take the proper amount of risk when you've got the perfect setup. And that's what we did. And it's paying off very nicely here. Hang in there. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. 23.32. And I'm at 23.35. Okay, whatever. We're right under there. Right underneath that 15-minute candle. We've got 9 minutes left. I think that's cool. All right, Kazi, see you tomorrow, buddy. I'm going to hang out here until this trade is done, obviously. So you can hang, guys. I know we usually go to 10:30. If you got to go, I understand. I'm going to record all of this. Obviously, I'm going to edit the video and take out all the long pauses and stuff. And we will have the very first recording of our combine here, the very first day of the Topstep Combine. And we are doing very well. So great thought process here, right? Understanding what it takes. You got to work yourself up to becoming funded by going into that competition. Think about somebody who walks, somebody who joins us who really doesn't know anything yet. Who's a complete beginner. I wouldn't recommend, oh yeah, jump into a prop trading firm. Holy moly. I don't think you'd be prepared for something like that. Like, oh, I found a strategy on YouTube and I'm going to use it in the, trading combine. I would never say to do that. I mean, I'm not going to stop anybody from doing that, but why waste your money? Don't wait. You got to really go through some phases, right? I like to take people through those 5 phases of development. Like if you don't know anything and you're a total beginner, go through the TrendCloud modules, learn the basics, learn the TrendCloud strategy, learn the opening range, then practice that in the simulator. That's stage 2. Practice in the simulator, get familiar with it, get comfortable with it. Then go into the Leap day trading competition. Feel what it's like to enter an actual competition and step into the ring, right? And be like, wow, okay, like I'm in a competition right now. And perform well. Perform under pressure. Don't lose any of the money. I don't care if you come in last. Don't lose any of that competition money and have an acceptable drawdown, and function properly in battle. Then do the 4th stage would be the small account challenge. Take $500, which is a ridiculously low amount of money, right? And see if you can turn $500 into $5,000. How long does it take you? Or $3,000, whatever. How long does it take you to get to that point? It took me 3 months. Right. And I think I blew the account out twice. So you have to mark those numbers down and and see how you handle that. What that's going to do is it's going to reveal all of your strengths and all of your weaknesses to yourself. It's like, oh, you know what? I didn't take enough targets. I didn't focus on risk management enough, or I over leveraged myself. I got excited, I got too excited, for this trade, and I just let it ride, and I didn't take any targets, and missed out on a lot of money. Okay, so it's going to reveal all of that to you, and you have to be honest and transparent with yourself. You don't have to give this information to anybody. This is for you. You're putting yourself through this challenge, and you've got to go sit in your room and be honest, have a conversation with yourself, and don't leave your room until those questions are answered. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And be 100% honest and transparent with yourself. You will come out of that stage a million times better than when you went in. I guarantee, I promise you that. And then the fifth stage is actually trading live with whatever amount of money that you are comfortable with at first. Okay, so you go through those 5 stages, you trade live, see how you do, and when you're ready, then you go into, a prop trading firm, or, you just continue trading live on your own. You will know how much money you need to survive the drawdown. You will know at the end of stage 4, that fourth phase, at the end of the fourth phase of development, you will know how much money you need in your live account. You'll know, right? I need a minimum of $3,000, okay, in order for me to survive an account or to build an account. That's my minimum that I need. Your number might be different. Maybe you're $6,000, whatever, but you'll see. You will know those numbers when you come out of the fourth phase of development, which is the small account challenge, the $500 challenge. And then you'll start trading live with the number that you come up with. Like, okay, really need about $3,000 to survive any losses and drawdown before I really start gaining momentum. So that's why I have to be very careful in this Topstep challenge being evaluated, because I'm not allowed to lose more than $2,000. My goal is $3,000 profit, but my drawdown cannot be more than $2,000 until I hit that $3,000 goal. So that's just about where I'm at. That's just about where I'm at. Okay, I've got a little bit of a pause here on the price action, right? It's understandable, very understandable. Let's take a look at it on TradingView. I love the fact that we are above the 141 extension level. I want to stay above this 15-minute candle and start to move and hit that 1.618. That is what I'm waiting for. It's getting a little hot in here, guys. I'm going to open up the door. Hang on. All right. So there's nothing we can really do. Looks like we are getting some fast price action, some fast movement here to the downside. That's okay, but hopefully we can survive it. We've survived it for this long. Let's see how far we can take this. I don't think we're going to get a retest of the opening range. Not from what this looks like to me, but we just want to survive. Racking it up. Love it. I love seeing green, man. I tell you that. It's a really good feeling. Really good feeling. Oh, how exciting! Obviously, I'll cut all that out in the video. This is the first day here, and we want to record the whole process. What worked? How far did it go? All right, come on, buddy. Break above. Right there. Break above, close above. Choose up. Choose the upward direction, please. Please choose the upward direction. It's holding on. It's holding on there. Holding on. Holding on. Come on. That's right. That's what we want to see. 77% win rate. I thought that was pretty darn good. I thought that was pretty darn good in the competition. They still haven't come up with the results yet. There's still no results posted yet. No results posted yet on the competition. What's that 5-minute looking like? Nice. Okay. Take a look. So we're at the bottom of the cycle here on the 5-minute chart. That's really good, because now we can start to get, if it's this shallow, right? That's a shallow pullback, and we're at the bottom of the cycle, which means it may not pull all the way back into the trend cloud. It may have a very strong trend, and we've seen that happen where it doesn't even pull back into trend cloud, and it just keeps going. That's what we're looking for, right? We really want to see that type of a pattern take place. We want to see that type of a pattern take place here. Let me get all of this. Let me get this off the charts here, nice and clean. Here we go. That's what we're looking at. Look at that 1 hour. My goodness. Come on, buddy. You know you want that ADR checkpoint. You know you want that. Let's put our fib extensions on there. Swing low, swing high, back down. Pulling back. Oh, 141 right at that 2302. 15-minute, 5-minute. Okay, so it's pulling back there. Survive it. Come on. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's a good spot. That's a good spot right there. Come on, baby. Come on. Now, if we get a nice bullish candle break above all this structure here, that'll be an engulfing. If we get a nice engulfing candle there, that's what I'm hoping for. Let's look for a nice engulfing candle. You've pulled back far enough. That's quite enough right there. Now start to move back up. And we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen. And depending on how much time you have in the day, you might be looking for that first big move out, and then you close out your position fully on whatever pullback takes place. And that's a strategy you can do when you don't have time. If you have to get somewhere, then you take the money that's on the table, and then that's it. But with Okay, so now we've got one contract left, so we have to get rid of that, and there we are. So now we have stop loss in place here, right? That's a nice day, very nice day. That's a very nice day. Now we could have had $500 by the time it got to here. Boom, boom, 500, and that would have been it, right? ADR checkpoints right up here, so it'll be an $800 day or whatever. If it goes past that, even better, but we definitely want to capture the last target. I don't think we're going to get a retest. I really don't think we're going to get a retest, which is why I want to, leave it. Oh, it's still hovering on that 141. I was a little bit above that, right? I was a little above that. It's staying above that 141 retracement level. We'd still be in this with all of our contracts, but that's okay. It's okay to take targets because we don't know what's going to happen, but naturally it's starting to move up now, pulled back a little bit, and it might be kind of slow now. Oh my goodness, look at that now. It's starting to take off. Goodness gracious. Everything is 2020 in hindsight, everything is 2020 in hindsight. Oh, I should have had it right on the line of the one extension level. Then I'd still be in this, right? Yeah. Some days it'll pull back below it and then go in your favor. Some days it won't hit it like right now, like what it's doing right now. You never know. You can't get mad at that. Can't get mad at stuff like that. There you go. Looks like it's starting to move back up. The main thing is that we're being evaluated by this prop trading firm, and they're going to be looking at all of this. They're going to be looking at the discipline. They're going to be looking at, oh, look at this. This guy, he's taking the same trades. He's taking the same trades every day at the same time. Look at his style. He's trading the micros. He's being careful. He's getting risk-free. They're going to take all of that into consideration. Okay, and you've got to be able to, and we're documenting all of this too. So I can put together a highlight reel for them, which is not a bad idea. I think I'll do that. I can put together a highlight reel of everything that I did this month for the Combine and how we approached it. And I think they'll be very appreciative of that. And if you go over to Topstep and you start watching the interviews of their funded traders, I was very surprised. You not one of them. I watched not one. I watched like 4 in a row. Okay, I watched like 4 in a row. I got very frustrated because I'm a very competitive day trader. I love the process. I respect the process so much that someone who's funded, if they can't explain their process clearly, and they flat out asked him, what's your process? Tell us. You just got funded. We just, tell us your process. They couldn't explain it. They couldn't clearly articulate their process. And to me, that's a huge red flag. I don't care how you got there. That's a huge red flag if you can't explain your process clearly to someone. Very odd. Just very odd. Now, if we look at the situation we're in right now, we can close out this trade right now and we would just leave $100 on the table, right? 383, $383. Whereas if we get stopped out at 84, we're leaving more like $200 on the table or so. Or 100, so right now we're losing. We're if we close out now, we only leave $100 on the table. It's like, big deal. You left $100 on the table. Not a big deal. But again, all this momentum and trend, all the strength in this momentum and trend, let it go as far as it's going to go. And that'll be that. Definitely, though, if it hits that ADR, that's probably a great target to take for the day. Don't know when it's going to get there. Maybe it gets there around 2 o'clock. I don't know. But 9:30 to 10:30, that's an hour. I have to shut the video. The video has to be under 2 hours in order for it to maintain its integrity and stuff oh my God, now it's going to start to take off. God, wish I was still in this. I really wanted to hit 1500, like to the penny. Like I wanted to hit 1500 to the penny, But look, this is the scaling out process. That's the area I chose, and so it's right at the top of the hour, right at 11 o'clock here. We'll hang out for another. I'll leave the video going for another 5 minutes or so on this candle. We'll shut it at the end of this candle here, and then I'll start editing. Man, I really wanted that. I really wanted 1500. Really wanted a $1,500 to like the penny. Like you guys said, no more than 50%. So that's what I gave you. That would have been really cool. Would also be awesome as, we become funded in this journey. I would really like to negotiate something with them for staying in overnight, holding a contract overnight. Maybe they'll allow me, hey Chris, like we see that you're really consistent and you've got this process that you're going through. We'll allow you to hold one micro contract overnight. Don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm putting out to the universe. Where did this thing pull back to? It pulled back to 2305. Yeah, it didn't quite pull back. See, if I let it ride right on the 2332, dang, if I just put it right there, I would still be in this bad boy. And then we would take one contract off here, let the other one go, whatever. It's okay. It's all good. 6 is right here. Like maybe we'll get a break above the ADR. I don't know. Get a break above the ADR. Who knows? All I know is that ADR is such a great target. And yeah, we've seen it rip through there, but ADR, man, it hits ADR, and your best bet is to take the money and run once that ADR checkpoint is hit. We've seen the NASDAQ, rip through all of them, but not very often, right? I think once in the past 6 months, one time in the past 6 months, I've seen it rip through every single ADR checkpoint, right? Very, very rarely does it do that. The majority of the time, and we've documented it, right? ADR checkpoint is hit and it starts to go sideways, kind of like what it's doing now. Kind of does what it's doing now when it hits that ADR. But then next morning, we continue the uptrend, so that's why holding a contract would be great. Okay, we got the hookup, right? 5-minute cycle is hooked up here. Looks like we're heading another 30 seconds here. Oops. Do we, at this point, this late in the day, do we do something like this? Follow it up there? Kind of makes sense to me, right? I don't want a full retracement here. Now we're on the 141. We would be leaving a couple of bucks on the table. But what are you going to do? It's only $200, right? Definitely don't want to give up. You don't want to give up, Does it pull back to this? I mean, That's a very strong rally-based rally, but then we take the chance of getting stopped out right at 83 bucks. Definitely don't want that. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. And all the time and energy that we put into this trade, you've got to squeeze as much out of it as possible. We've got the cycle, right? We've got the cycle up now on that 5-minute chart. Okay. Getting the hook up on the 15-minute. We really want to see that kind of move. You got it, Eddie. Thank you, buddy, for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow, buddy. Great job. Thanks for hanging with me, man. Okay. All right, guys. So at this point, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, I wish I still had that. I wish I had that other contract still. Oh man, I really wish I had those other contracts. It's okay. It's all right. We're doing great. We're doing great. We're calling the shots. You see how we're calling the shots here? We're calling the shots, guys. We're doing very well. When you're calling the shots and you're telling the story of price action, and it's when you're narrating the story of the price action and the story is unfolding the way you're telling it, you're doing a great job. And that's all we can ask for. All right, guys. I'm going to end the video now. I'll edit it and I'll manage this trade on my own, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks, guys.